Alright, so welcome back to another driveway. Quickly, we are going to finish making these quasi-ramp pieces for loading in over the wheel well. So we don't have a lot of time to get rolling here, so I gotta straighten that up, and then hopefully I'll have enough time to get the other little tiny project taken care of. So I'm going to get rolling and see where we end up with here real quick. Alright, so what we have going on here is we've got some 2x10s and some 2x4s. And kind of how you saw it set up there is what we're going to do, but we need this to be slightly angled. So let's grab a piece here. It's like finding 2x10s that are actually halfway decent are kind of a bigger chore than you realize, but we're really only going to use them for their compression strength, so some of these checks and cracks aren't going to affect us very much. So anyways, I think we'll start on this end, and we're going to cut away most of these cracks and checks anyways. Alright, so we got all the boards knifed up here. So it's just a matter of tweaking some edges, make sure everything fits flat. Alright, so as a whole, those ramp ups are pretty much done. I still have to brace it, but you can kind of see what we're going for. That's a pretty shallow slope. Rear tires are probably going to sit probably about halfway there, so the rear tires will sit there and might get real close to dragging the side pipe, but we'll take a look at that when we get there. Chances are we'll be perfectly fine, but the next hurdle is going to be trying to reinforce these wheel wells. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go investigate some aluminum ATV ramps, because like we don't need it to be fully supportive because it's only about 40 inches that it has to make it. So I'm thinking those aluminum ramps that are like 6 foot long, that you can take in pretty heavy ATV and a person up it. That's probably 1,000 pounds, so cut the span in half and that should be just about right. So we'll have them running probably from here up 6, and then we'll probably have another set of 2x4s up there to carry the rest of that load. And the main reason for doing this is I just want to spread out the load a little bit, because by having these things really wide instead of just right where the tires would go, allows it to spread out the load to all the cross members in this thing, because everything's aluminum and not everything's going to be the strongest on the planet. This thing was not made to have a car put in there, so we have to spread out the load as much as we can. Now I know these corners can hold quite a bit of weight, because when I use this for storage and moving, I had the big air compressor that's easy 400 pounds in one corner, and then a little bit further up from there I had the other iron 4.3 that is probably another 400 pounds. So we had a good 800 pounds just in this corner. We're in the same amount of space as that ramp, so I know we can hold the weight, so I'm not necessarily too worried about that. And if you're wondering, the main frame of the truck is right at the edge of the ramps on both sides. So that's where the main frame is. So I'm thinking we shouldn't have much of a problem at all. So I guess sun's down. I need to pack up some of this junk here and see what else I can do. Alright, so as a whole, we got these pretty well taken care of. I'll have to see how far up the car needs to go, so I can make some stop blocks, so I know when it's at the position that it needs to be at. We got some more room here, so we can make something, maybe like shelving or something. Simple little upward shelf or something. Don't know. Or I could just come out here straight across and make something else. Don't know. But anyways, that should be good to go there. We got our 2 little ATV ramps, and they say they're rated for 1,500 pounds. So I would say having them roll over a already supportive structure it should make it so it doesn't completely collapse our structure here. Got them screwed down so they don't go anywhere. Holds the wood in place. Just double support it up here. We should be pretty much good. Now the downside is this wood prospect was supposed to be quite a bit cheaper, but with this whole pandemic stuff, wood is now twice as much as it used to be. So this is not as cheap as it should have been, but it is heavy and sturdy, and you can see what we did here. We got one standing up, one on the flat, and one standing up, and then our rungs on the flat. So this allows us, it's like when you're on this center section, there should be no worry about anything collapsing, because that's the full strength of the wood. So when the car comes and rolls up in here, probably right here almost down the center, it will have all of its weight distributed over the center. I think it's pretty good. All right, so we'll have that section. We'll have to start making some ramps here to actually get it so we can close the back end here again. But I think that'll do pretty well. Anyway, I've already drawn up plans on how I plan to do this back section and the ramps up into it. So we don't have to worry too terribly much on that aspect. So I've got that set up, so next month, which is just around the corner, I can go pick up some of the steel for that and get moving forward. Then we'll have to do a few other things. I believe that's job number one here, is that guy there. Then we need to make the airlift, and then I probably need to pull the transmission and see what's fried in there. And possibly up here, I'm thinking we might want to create a kind of a door or something to make it so we can actually get in and out of the car, because we're going to be pretty tight quarters where I don't think we'll be able to open the door and get in and out. So I think we'll have to make a door on the side there so we can open and get in and out that way. But that'll be for another time. We're going to pretty much leave this here, and hopefully you'll come back and see what else we do to this beast machine. So anyways, thanks again for stopping by and watching, and hopefully these future projects won't get out of control like this one did. We'll just have to see you again later.